quiet seaside town, an evil laid to rest centuries ago, has risen. An abandoned fortress deep in the swamp holds a secret that could save the village or destroy it. Now, a band of adventurers sets out to dig up the wounds of the past and bring the light of day to the roots of ruin. This is Tabletop Gold.
Hello, friends, and welcome to, there's a thing in my throat, episode 149. That's not the name of the show.
Of the
my name
now.
is, that's what it is. My name's Lars Casteen. You're listening to Tabletop Gold. It's our ongoing series, The Roots of Ruin, our production of the Abomination Vault's adventure path for Pathfinder 2nd Edition. Nice to see you. I'm joined this evening, as always, by Robin Lange.
Good evening, or good morning, or good afternoon.
Good evening, good morning, and good afternoon to you, and also to David the Tin Man Chernicoff.
Good that time. Any of those times. Good one of it. To you.
Good one of it. To you as well. Zoe Chernicoff is here.
Good one of it.
Good one of it. And you know who I think is a great one of it is R. Matt Humphreys.
And also with you.
Okay, good.
A good time. That joke totally tracks, right?
Yeah.
I loved it. I thought it was good.
It worked.
I have a question. Is that the Force thing, or was that a church thing that we were doing? Just help me connect the dots.
What's the difference?
Possibly both.
Yeah. Possibly both.
Pretty sure going to a Episcopalian boarding school, that's a church thing.
Okay. I just remember when I was a kid going to Episcopal church being like, that part where you talk like you're in Star Wars is the best part of this whole situation. I loved it. And you know what else I love is that we are, in this episode, going to get into a combat encounter for the first time in a long time, y'all. It's episode 149. Last time we had a combat was in episode 141. A lot of things have happened in the meantime.
Yeah, we avoided combat by damning someone's soul to hell.
Yeah, sure. Like I said, a number of things happened during those intervening. Yeah, some pivotal non-combat related things may have happened.
Everyone took
during
that
this
so
episode.
hard.
But a pivotal non-combat thing is about to happen right now, which is that I want to ask everybody their opinion about a topic that is near and dear to my hearts, and that is. You know how sometimes you take a cucumber and you put it in salt water and it just sits there for a long time and then you eat it after that and you call it a pickle.
Mm-hmm.
How do you guys feel about pickles? I realized at some point that this is something that I didn't know was controversial until relatively recently. I've heard a number of people express very wide-ranging opinions about pickles, and I'm wondering, with no information ahead of this conversation, what your take is on the humble pickle.
Do we just mean pickled cucumbers, or are we free-ranging into other kinds of pickled things?
This is an important question.
I would like a primary answer of a pickled cucumber answer, but
Great.
if you have any other flavor, so to speak, to contribute to the conversation, I'm not going to get mad at you about it.
Sure, but that's what we're focused on.
I think that we should focus on pickles. Yeah.
Agreed.
I mean, everything that you put in pickle juice is essentially a pickle.
Well, there you go. That's the kind of flavorful response that I was anticipating.
That you were hoping.
Yeah.
I mean, to probably no one's surprise, I will eat most foods that are vegetarian, and pickles are in my top. I'm picky about my pickles.
Please, this is a great sub-question. What's your top pickle?
I think I tend to go for local pickles. Like, I love going to a farmer's market and getting pickles there, like fresher pickles. I love a half sour. But if I'm also But the main thing is if I'm getting them at the grocery store, I've gotten to the point where I've realized I only like pickles that are from the refrigerated section. That ones
Oh,
the
like the
pickles
kind of
that stay
fresher
like
pickle.
on the warm counter, they just don't have that same crunch. And you
I
need the
feel
crunch.
like you and I mind melded ahead of this conversation because I've never had a farmer's market pickle, but I will tell you that a half sour pickle gets my motor going in a way that very few things do these days. I love a half sour pickle.
At my local farmer's market, which is open from like Mother's Day to Thanksgiving, essentially, there's a pickle guy there. Does pickles and then also like other kind of pickled vegetables, like, you know.
A dilly bean, perhaps?
Yes, absolutely. But one of the things that you always see is kids walking around with pickles on sticks because he just sells single pickles on sticks for the kids.
Robin, do you live in the
That's really
1940s?
I mean, I do live in like this odd place that is a village between a bunch of like very urban centers. So kind of.
Yeah, it feels like you're describing that movie Pleasantville with just a bunch of side-parted kids walking around with a pickle on a stick.
It's not unlike the village I live in, to be honest.
I think that's Pickleville. I think you may be
That's Pickleville.
getting confused.
David, what do you feel about a pickle?
I dislike all pickles, but we don't have to
You do?
dwell. Yeah.
Interesting. I didn't know that ahead of time, but I knew that people really do have strong opinions. Is it like the strength of the flavor? Is it just like the saltiness? I know you don't want to dwell. I just want to get a
No.
like no need to go into more detail than you're comfortable with.
I shouldn't have
like,
said. Well, I guess I'm fine to dwell. I just want to be clear that we don't need to. It's more fun to talk about things that people like than things about that people dislike. It's a curious paradox. I really like salty things. I don't like pickles. I don't like sour things or bitter things in general.
Mhm.
There's very few.
You're not a vinegar guy, generally.
Yeah.
That's correct.
Salty sour is the main flavor profile of pickles.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Bitter foods and sour foods really not my thing, to the point where I've sometimes wondered, like, maybe do I have like something particular about those taste buds that like makes
Yeah,
them.
Are you a super
Probably,
taster?
yeah.
I don't know if I'm a super taster. I think I'm like a super bad taster of sour things. I don't know. Like these things typically taste so bad to me that I sometimes you eat something and you're like, oh, I see how that is enjoyable. It's just not my favorite. And this is like, it tastes so unappealing to me. I kind of don't even get how anyone wants it, which makes me think I must be having a different subjective experience of it than everybody else. Kind of. Anyway.
Yeah.
Do you not enjoy Sour Patch Kids? Are they too sour for you?
I can get there on Sour Patch Kids because it's sort of momentary and the contrast to the sweetness, but then it's primarily a sweet thing. I actually don't love super sweet stuff either. God, this is making me sound much less adventurous than I actually am. I love spicy food. I enjoy, as a matter of course, flavor. But
Sure.
but yeah, things where the appeal is like, this is so sour that it tastes terrible. They're just not for me.
You're allowed to not like certain flavors.
Yeah. Yeah, never let it be said that David Chernicoff does not enjoy flavor.
No.
Okay.
I always hope that a pickle comes with the thing so that I can give it to Zoe.
Aw.
Yeah.
That's love.
Yeah.
The basis of a good marriage, I think.
How do you feel about pickles then, Zoe?
I hate them and I throw them at the waitress. No,
Yeah, I just enjoy seeing what she does with it this time.
I'm all in on pickles, and I'm like the cheapest pickle date possible. Like, I don't care if it's canned. I don't like. I mean, I like a fresh pickle, but like, I have no standards when it comes to like your average dill. Like, I'm delighted. I actually am less in the half sour. Like, I just prefer a salty, very dilly. I'll eat a half sour, but like, just any pickle. I'm like at the like hamburger bars where they just have the like little pickles, and I will like fill up a cup of those slimy, shitty pickles and just delight it to eat them.
Yeah,
I've got no standards when it comes to a pickle. I'm in.
I love this lowbrow pickle taste. I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's funny talking about half sours. I feel like I would like the least pickled pickle imaginable. I would like a pickle that just like got near some brine, I feel like that would be like delightful to me. I would love that.
You could just have a cucumber and some salt. I should stay out of this. I should stay out of
No,
this.
I like that too. I do like
Sounds
like
all right.
all different levels of it. Have you seen? This was something that showed up on my Instagram, TikTok, where I watch my TikToks as an adult.
Sure.
Which is the chickle, not a frickle, but a chickle.
Tell me about this chickle.
So frickles we know are fried pickles, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
I guess I know
So
that
for
now.
a chickle, you take cheese, put it on a nonstick frying pan to melt it and make the cheese all bubbly and get that kind of crust underneath.
So
Yeah.
far,
And
so good.
then you take a pickle spear,
Yeah, now
not
you-
a whole pickle because it's too big. You take a pickle
Now you
spear
lost me.
and you wrap it in the cheese.
Oh.
I'm in.
And it's
I'm in.
actually, I constantly try it with different cheeses. There's some
Oh,
that
you've
work
done
better
it.
than others.
Right, 'cause
American
some
cheese
cheeses
is honestly
would melt and get
really good.
That sounds amazing.
Just anything that's going to get a nice crisp layer underneath.
This is a
And then
real
you wrap
Zoe
the
food.
pickle in that. It's really good.
What cheeses did you use with it?
Jarlsberg does not work very well. I discovered.
That makes sense.
Might I humbly
Let it be
suggest
known,
halloumi?
Ooh, I should
Halloumi.
try halloumi.
I love a halloumi chickle, guys.
Because it's
gotta
very
try it.
salty as well, but it's going to get the texture thing. It's going to crisp up for you.
I should try it with a dill halloumi.
A dill halloumi chickle.
Yes.
Now we're talking.
That sounds
halloumi,
really
halloumi
good.
chickle, chickle. There's some way to get this
There's
down to
something
one
there.
syllable here, but I'm going to need all night.
One syllable. That's so ambitious. Armet, what are your pickle feelings?
Yeah, I'm a fan. I had some pickles of those, the kind of hamburger pickle chips earlier today, actually. I liked them. I love a dill pickle. I like a sweet pickle. One of those like cornichon gherkins.
Oh, I
you
love
know?
a
Sweet
gherkin.
gherkin. Yeah, I like a.
Yeah,
On occasion, I like
they're
a sweet
good.
gherkin.
I love a gherkin chickle. That's what I like.
My family does a tuna salad with like sweet or kind of sweet sour pickles in it. It is delightful.
I try
And,
that.
Sounds great. Sounds good.
celery as well for a little crunch is hella good.
Has anyone here ever had? So you mentioned. So Zoe had mentioned the dilly beans, right? So like taking other vegetables and pickling them.
Yep.
Sure.
Has anyone ever had a pickled egg?
Yes. Yes,
No?
I have.
What were
I
your thoughts?
like it. I think it's
Me
a nice
too.
time. I like to eat a pickled egg.
Is that like a Scandinavian? That seems like it would be the kind of thing that would happen in Scandinavia.
It might be. I don't know. The pickled herring is like a Finnish thing, I believe.
Yeah.
Like that's like you can have, and that's like two quadrants that you do not truck with, right, David? Those are two non-trucking quadrants for you.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes. If someone gave me
Yeah.
a pickled herring, I would like leave.
Yeah, it's time to go.
Yeah.
I always think of pickled eggs as a very British thing. When I
Mm.
first moved over there in grad school, and we went out to the pub. It was like the first night that our whole cohort of archaeology students had gone out. I was I was like one of two Americans, and all of these Brits were like, "Oh, let's try and weird out the Americans with our food." And so, a woman who I became good friends with, she's like, "I bet." I dare you to try pickled egg. I was like, okay, sure. You're going to buy it for me? She's like, yeah, I'll buy it for you. I dare you to try pickled egg. I'm not going to try and do her accent because she was also from the North and it's a hard accent. And I was like, sure.
Guess
Knowing that I
not.
love pickles.
That's-
And lo and behold,
Nailed
they
it.
all watched as I just like very happily devoured this pickle. They're like, Americans aren't supposed to like this stuff. I'm like, salty and sour. And it's an egg. It's everything I like in life.
It's
I'm
a
in.
big country, lady. There are lots of us. We got all sorts of things we're into.
It's a melting pot.
It's a
Exactly.
melting pot.
I'm sure that we're reaching the point where Lars is gonna bring us into the show soon. I just
Oh, yeah,
want to
for sure.
suggest, perhaps by way of segue, we need an actual counter, like those workplace safety things that are like however many days since an accident, and then every time someone gets hurt, you reset it to 0. We need
Yeah.
that for just talking about food in the upfront. Like we just need it on the wall, and at the end of we just have to flip the thing back down to 0.
But here's the problem: is I like doing
I
it
love it
too much.
I love it too.
Yeah.
I like talking about food too much to heed such a warning
This food
sign.
segment gave me like 3 other ideas about food segments, which is when I realized that we were doing it again.
God, we just need to have a whole, like, maybe one of our Patreon shows just needs to be us talking about different weird food topics.
It should just
That's
be
such a
us
good
at a
idea,
buffet
Robin. That's
attempting
such a
to
good
play a
idea.
role-playing game and failing.
If the audio wouldn't be so bad, it could also be all of us like together, each making a grilled cheese and sharing what we're doing. But I'm sure that it would be hard to get the
Sounds
the
like some
sound quality.
good
good.
ASMR.
Oh, we should do an ASMR grilled cheese role-playing game premium content idea. We should do it.
See, this is how the magic
Love it.
happens, everyone.
This is how it happens.
You get us hungry.
I'm so in.
That's right. Speaking of being hungry, I'm hungry to thank people who have taken the time
Yeah.
to leave reviews for us at the various podcasting apps. I want to tell you something, everybody. It's a tough time out there for a podcaster. I don't know what I'm talking about.
no, keep stick with it.
It's tough out there for a podcaster. And the reviews that you leave on, say, your Apple Podcast or your Podcast Addicts, they do something to this little thing called the algorithm. And it makes it so that algorithm lets other people know about our show. So when you leave a review for us, it helps. It not only helps us, it helps others. And helping others is really what it's all about. I would like to thank one of those people who helped others. They're Sclarizard on Apple Podcasts. And they left a very nice 5-star review for our show that says, the subject line, "The Little Lemur Boy." And then it says, parentheses, "to the tune of Little Drummer Boy,
Okay, here it
the
goes.
little lemur boy, parumpa pum pum." This is Little Lemur Boy, parumpa pum pum. Yeah, so this is Robin called me a lemur boy, and this is what happens, I guess.
I
She did.
called you a little lemur boy.
And our
You called me a
fans
little lemur
lapped
boy.
it up.
Yeah, they were like, got it.
little lemur boy Lars.
Okay, well, that's enough of that.
So good.
No, it's bad. And let's move on now to something else that's bad, and that is what's going to happen to you when we start playing our game.
Oof. This is what I get for calling him a little lemur boy.
8 levels down, into the dungeons beneath Gauntlet, you have encountered an expansive subterranean lake populated by strange creatures. Gnome-like mummies, caged beasts unlike anything you've seen, and who knows what else. You've just boarded a small rowboat to traverse this lake and search for the remaining officers from the Star Watch squad sent by the government of Absalom to assist in your quest to stop the threat lurking in these dark underground chambers. Your nautical adventure may be over just as soon as it has begun, though, as a pair of hulking crab creatures with large mouths brimming with toxic-looking tentacles have just emerged from the water. 5 members of the Star Watch team are still missing. The Grunt, Torpor Wedge, the Bruiser, Colton Marabi, the Magic User, Bevrin Dralfo, the Medic, Bertie Graham, and the Captain, Margot Jensen. And also, your friend from the Otari Town Guard, Mark.
Oh, Mark.
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 I mean, he could still be alive, guys. We can't give up hope yet, you know? Like,
Lars can't just kill him off. There will be a riot.
What if I told you
Okay.
that I can
He's
do
already dead.
anything I want to do?
I mean, you can, but you shouldn't.
This is getting real.
I've got some information to share with you.
Okay.
These crab-like horse-sized things are just emerging out of the water, water rolling off of their shells as they do so. As they move into attack, another sound emerges into this cave. In the cage, a short distance to your south, there is another creature. This one, unlike one that you've seen before. This creature is like a cross between a triceratops and an alligator with many, many enormous teeth. It is in one of these cages on the side of the river, and it just starts barking. It's like, "Row, row, 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 row," as it notices that these two crab-like creatures have come out of the water. A short distance away from you on the shore, there is a motionless member of the Star Watch down here. And they're not moving.
That's all we can tell.
That's all you can tell from here. And right now, your attention is probably less focused on them than on these two gargantuan, subterranean, aquatic aberrations that are lumbering towards you in the water. And I would like everyone to please roll for initiative.
What? Oh, I did not see that coming. I thought we didn't fight things anymore.
Only when
we
they
had a
attack us
meeting.
first.
think we should try talking to him.
How do we feel about my rolling stealth?
I don't like it. I'm going to be honest with
I
you.
don't like it either.
It seems
But
like
deception?
a stretch. I think that seems like a stretch too, Zoe.
Hey, Lars.
But can anyone really know, Ao?
Okay.
You know?
As this is the first battle we've had in a while,
Yes.
I do believe Trill, while she's in this boat, lets out a fearsome battle cry.
Let's do it. Let's go. Battle
So
cry. Your
she
new
gets to,
feat.
I get to demoralize
You
an
gotta
observed
pick one,
foe. I imagine the one closest to us.
Okay.
So let's target that guy. And if I'm using demoralize, I can use my versatile performance.
Correct.
And let's see how that goes. That's a 28.
Okay. A 28, I believe, versus Will DC. That's relatively low. You're going to get a -4, I believe, to that because they don't share a language with you. Actually, let me ask you a question. Do you speak Undercommon?
I do now, yes.
Okay. So
Nang,
that
nang,
20
bonobo.
Nang Yang Bonobo. That 28 is a success.
Yes!
So let me know basically what it is that you do, and I will tell you how they react.
So Trill sees these guys come out of the water, and she has this moment of panic, and then something builds inside of her as she thinks about poor Mark lost down here. And she turns to this kind of crab mantis Cthulhu-esque creature and knits her face all together and lets out the most fearsome roar her tiny body can manage.
This creature is operating on instinct. They're here to eat you, right? They're hunting in their hunting grounds near their home. They hear this sound and they flinch back for a second, and you can see that they look disoriented and fatigued by this experience. And Zoe, that's potentially really good news for Ao because if you're able to get your turn going before that creature goes, your Dread Striker feat will let you get them off guard to you. So let's see what happens. It is the beginning of round 1. And here's the situation. The 4 of you are floating on a rowboat that Mag is currently at the oars of, pushing you forward across this lake. To your west, there are cages, a couple of them filled with barking wild beasts. A short distance in front of you, there are these 2 crab creatures and a pier, and that pier extends a few feet back towards the cavern wall and a rocky shore. To kick things off, let me ask everybody their initiative scores. It's been so long since we've done this that I forgot to even ask about it. Let's go around the horn. Robin, what did you roll for initiative?
I stopped rolling crap for initiative, so that's good. Trill got a 32.
Phenomenal. So Trill, in getting this battle cry off for the first time, I guess, is moving fast, like hitting on all cylinders, ready for this. Phenomenal. Next around is David. David, how did Mag do?
It's a 30 for Mag. Mag was staring into the water as they started to emerge, so she got a sense something was coming. So she was ready from the ripples.
So Mag gets a quick heads up. How did Ao do, Zoe?
Sort of a middling 25.
I have a question, actually. Was anybody scouting while you were doing this? It seems like somebody should have been.
I think I was.
Mag typically
I think I
is.
was looking about.
Mag usually
So-
is as well.
I'm gonna say, David, that Mag and we're sort of getting into some home ruling sort of fly by the seat of your pants kind of stuff here.
Yeah.
I think if Mag is focusing on rowing, she's probably not able to scout exactly at the same time. But if Zoe is saying that Ao is scouting, that means that she breaks a tie with the first of these crab creatures.
Wow, that's big.
So there you go.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay, in your face, me. And Armet, how did
You who
Istin-
just did this nice thing for us
Yeah,
by letting me
right.
say a thing that gave
Yeah.
me an advantage. Oh, hell yeah.
You always make me feel like I'm making a great choice.
That's what I'm here for.
Yeah, Armet, how did Istin do on his
Oh,
initiative?
terrible. He got a 1 on the die. I have to imagine he's hungover and just depressed and
Thrown up a little in his mouth.
yeah, exactly. Just, not in a good headspace.
Okay, so to kick things off at the beginning of round 1, here we go. It is Trill's turn.
So Dirge of Doom was only really half as effective since I've already half done it. I think what Trill will first do is Lingering Comp, then into Courageous Anthem. So we'll
Great.
start there and try and that should give Ao also a really great boost to go after the one who's frightened. So yeah, so Trill, after screaming, starts strumming on her lute, sending out some power ballad for her compatriots.
Just this power ballad reverberating around this ancient cavern filled with absurd and terrifying beasts.
So that was a 34. So I believe everyone has that now for 3 rounds? 4 rounds? 4 rounds. Awesome.
It's a critical success because of your virtuosic
Hell yeah.
performer with strings.
Wow,
Yes.
Zowie.
Thank
Trill
you,
has
Trill.
already played 2 fantastic songs, and nothing has even happened yet.
All
So-
filler, no
yeah.
filler.
So that was my first action.
Yeah.
So I imagine, next action, I got to do recall knowledge. And first one going, we got to figure out what's going on.
And I got some good news for you. That recall knowledge that I'm going to ask for is an occultism check. These are aberrant creatures, strange, like warped, not quite animals, living deep, deep, deep underground. That's occultism.
Is this
give it to me.
Secret?
Blind. Yes, please.
Blind command.
Okay. I got your roll, and I'm going to give you a little bit of information. You would ask a question at this point. I'm just going to let you know you failed your check. So what I'll tell you, though, is I'll tell you the name of this creature.
That's way too nice.
This
of you, Lars.
is a
confused.
This is a chul, is what this thing is called. Chuul. Chul. And the story with chuls is that they are armor-plated crustacean predators that lurk beneath the surface of pools, mires, and ponds. This is all information that you could have gotten from context clues.
Yeah.
Waiting to snatch up prey with their massive claws, and here's a little bit of extra information for you, before paralyzing them with their tentacles. So you know these are large, strong, poison-coated things called chuls from deep, deep, deep underground.
So things that are large have a 10-foot reach rather than a 5-foot reach, right?
You look at this creature and you get the sense that it could reach out to Ao pretty effortlessly.
Okay. And wow, that was really generous considering I failed my check.
Could all been a lie.
Giving all of
They're
that.
tiny. They're actually like 2 inches
I
tall.
feel like if it was
Yeah.
a lie, he wouldn't have said I'm being nice since you failed your check. That seems like a real jerky thing to do, though. That's like another level of psych out. That's just not fun.
Well, here's the thing. If you're spending the action doing a recall knowledge, I at least want to give you some flavor. Like, why not, right?
Trill is going to prepare to aid. I'll say Mag, since Ao's already got a boost from the Frightened. So Trill is ready to support Mag in any rolls she makes, any attack rolls.
With that, it is now Mag's turn. Mag is holding the oars at the back of this boat. What is she going to do?
Well, it's good of Trill to think of aiding Mag in an attack action because Mag would like to attack action.
David, can I give you some information about boats and mechanics and stuff?
I was about to ask you, how far can I move from where I am toward where these things are? Do I need to use actions to disembark? Do I have to swim there?
Yeah, I'm gonna give you a very bird's eye rundown of some options that wouldn't typically be involved in this kind of thing.
Yeah.
And you can drill down as much or as little as you'd like to based on this, okay? You have kind of two things that you can do with this boat that you wouldn't typically have access to in an encounter. You can disembark from it, which is an action that'll put you into the space adjacent to the boat, right? Or you can row the boat to pilot it. There are a few different ways that you can do that, but
row your boat.
Can I do
a
it
classic.
gently down the
Gently
stream?
towards the chul.
It's got to be one of the top
If
5
it
songs about
strikes
rowing a
and
boat.
eats you up, then you're fucked. Da-da.
Okay,
Such a fool.
It's a first draft. I love it. Another thing you can do if you want to is you can spend all 3 actions to try to run one of these creatures over. And I'm going to tell you why that might not be a great idea, but it is in the rules of the game. If you run the creature over, it'll take a certain amount of damage, which is determined by the boat. This is a rowboat. It's not going to do a ton of damage. If you connect with something with it, it's going to be 2d4 damage, right? And that damage is going to happen to the thing that you're running into. It's going to happen to the boat, and it's going to happen to you as the person holding the oars. Okay? Damage happening to this boat. I'll give you some more stats about this rowboat. This rowboat has a hardness of 5, which means that it ignores the first 5 points of damage that it takes whenever it takes damage.
Right.
Beyond that hardness, it can take 8 points of damage before it's broken and 16 points of damage before it's destroyed. So I'm just laying that out there to let you know that this boat is not invulnerable.
Yeah, well, you're also giving me the numbers I need to know, like how many times can I run over
Can you ram
and then
this thing?
back and then
Yep.
forward.
Yep. Yeah.
It's several turns worth before the boat is fully like atomized just to smithereens.
Agreed. But that's the bird's eye view of this boat action.
I'm worried that the party will kill these things before I'm done repeatedly running them over again with the boat.
Yeah, I do think that
possible.
the running over the creature with the boat plan is maybe better when you're driving something slightly more powerful than a rowboat.
Right. Lars, before I proceed with my turn, I want to share
Please.
something that I've thought about a lot over the years, and I've never had the appropriate audience for, but now we have a podcast, and so I can share it. The song Row, Row, Row Your Boat is
Yeah.
not about boats.
I think that's fair to say.
It's about life.
It's about life. I have at
Wow.
times considered that if an alien were to come down to Earth and look at human culture, they would get to row, row, row your boat, and they would potentially spare us from whatever like horrible fate they had for
Aw.
us. I think that row, row, row your boat is just about as good as like a species level song as you can get. I think it totally whips ass. I'm completely into it.
You're in. You're pro
I'm
row,
all the
row
way
your
in
boat.
on row, row, row your boat. Life is but a dream. It's such a non sequitur to throw in, but it makes you understand what is actually going on.
Yes. It's not, the song is not about the boat. It's
no, the boat is a metaphor.
The boat
guys.
is the metaphor.
Y'all are beautiful minds.
It's a very evocative image, so you see it in your mind. You think, oh, this is about rowing boats, but it's actually advice. And it's good advice.
Also sort of meditative to sing, right? You get the rounds.
The round
going.
is good.
The
round
rounds
really
are outrageous.
underscores the whole, you gotta stick with it to get the full depth of the thing. All right, I want to mash the crabs to death. Well, it seems like first I should row the boat gently down this mucky pond so that everybody else is in range also.
So this is going to involve a trivially easy athletics check to do.
All right.
This
sure.
is going to be a DC 16 athletics check.
Okay. Wow, assurance would be very convenient for this. It's not letting me just roll regular athletics, so I'm just doing a shove instead. Okay. All right, it's 22.
22. So that is a success, which means that you get to move the rowboat up to its speed and turn it as normal. I'm not sure exactly what that means, but it can move up to 20 feet.
Okay.
And I'm going to say if you bonk into one of these chewels, it's not going to run the chewel over. That's a 3-action activity. It's just going to go and donk into the chewel.
Run the Jewels is my Run the Jewels
Donk
tribute
into
band.
The jewel.
All right. Well, there's a part of the
RPG?
pier there's a corner of the pier that is the closest to us that is also right between the jewels. So we'll head for
Do you
there.
like me repositioning you roundabout here?
Yeah, provided that means we all can jump straight onto the thing.
Jump straight onto the thing.
Onto
What
the
are we
pier.
talking about?
Like, can we disembark from the place you've put us
Yeah,
onto the
I think
pier?
that
Because if
yes,
not, I
I
will
think
go
that's
around
fine.
them or whatever.
I think that's fine.
Okay. Second action will be drawing the Earthbreaker, and third action.
As you do that,
yeah,
the claw from the chewel goes whoosh,
okay,
and tries to clamp around your neck.
reactive strike much.
Bow, chicka, wow, wow.
I rolled a 4 on the die for a 22 to hit.
22 will not do it.
Okay.
So yeah, maybe the boat is still wobbling a little bit. So as the boat is settling back and forth in the water, this claw fails to meet its mark, which gives Mag enough time to finish drawing the maul and make a two-handed swing. Okay, it's a 15 on the die for a 33.
Ooh.
That hits.
Okay.
You feel them all crunch into the exoskeleton of this chewel.
No crit though.
No crypto.
That is 16 damage.
Okay, not a great damage roll, but you do take a big chunk out as bits of chewel shell spray up into the air. And with that, it is now Ao's turn. Ao finds herself uncomfortably close to this hulking, subterranean aberration. What is Ao going to do?
She's gonna pull out her kukri.
As you pull out the kukri, the claw from the chewel to your south tries to clamp out at Ao.
Oh, right, because they each get one. Little effers.
You gotta draw. Nice. Oh, nice. Nice.
Very
I rolled a
bad.
20 on the die.
Ugh.
I'm going to draw from our crit deck, which we have not used in quite some time. Here comes the top card from the crit deck as I give this a little shove. Is it the Ace of Spades? No, it is the 6 of Spades. So this is just going to do regular double damage to Ao. Not a terribly good damage roll, but that is 30 points of damage to
Pretty
Ao
good.
as
That's pretty good.
she reaches for her kukri. I just want to do one quick thing. If the attack is a critical hit and the trigger was a manipulate action, which it was, the monster disrupts that action. So you reach for your kukri, the chul goes, and you bobble the kukri, and you're going to have to spend another action to draw it.
Ooh.
Don't like that.
This is a conundrum because I was hoping to get a slash in at this frightened friend while I still got double damage and then hightail it over to the annoying guy who might be dead.
Definitely annoying. Maybe dead.
Maybe dead. We know, yeah. Yes and maybe.
And I'll say, because we haven't said it on microphone, I think you guys can see that this Star Watch officer that you see on the beach is definitely Colton Marabi, the bruiser that Ao spent some irritating moments in conversation with at the Rowdy Rockfish last night.
All right. I think Ao is flustered, and so she just fires Foxfire at this crabby friend to the north.
Okay.
A 19 on the die, which is a little frustrating. Close to a 20, but not quite. But a 37 to hit.
That 19 on the die. Because of the mix of Trill frightening the creature from Ao having the Dread Striker feat and also Trill's Courageous Anthem is a critical hit.
Love it.
So who gets
really happy.
who gets this hero point?
Iston, right? He threw up in his mouth and he's still here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Doing great on the boat.
He doesn't smell good today.
I think Ao is down a hero point, so I'm going to throw it at Ao.
All right.
Fair and
It was,
just. I'll
it was a
accept
group hero point.
Yep.
We'll use it for greater good.
They usually are at this
Exactly.
level.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's
All
a
right.
critical hit with the kukri. Which
with the
with the
Foxfire.
Foxfire.
Terrible damage roll, but still 22 points of damage with crit.
I think that they're going to resist some of that fire damage because they are in the water.
Boo.
So
Isn't that
not
like their faces out?
they duck their face in just at the last moment, and they do that thing with the thumb on their nose where they throw their fingers out. Yeah, since they're in the water, some of the fire does not fully connect, but you do a total of 17 damage to the chul.
Okay. And then Ao runs down this pier sort of as far as she can, scrambling down it. Oh, I think that's 5 feet further than I can
So
go.
to get off the boat, it's going to be an action to disembark, which is going to land you on this furthest space north on the pier.
Even though we're like right next to the pier now?
That's right.
Well, that's lame. All right. Ao hops off and says, "How do you like them apples?"
And the chul says, and its tentacles start going, and you hear the chul to your immediate west mutter in Undercommon, "Delicious, it's delicious," as it swings its claw out towards Ao to try to grab a hold of her. Here's a strike with a claw. That is a 33 to hit.
That'll hit.
So Ao is going to take a total of 15 points of bludgeoning damage, and Ao feels the claw immediately squeeze to grab a hold of her. So I'm going to make a grapple check to see if it is able to successfully do that. This is a new thing for the remaster, Bow Chicka Wow Wow.
Bow chicka wow wow.
Where I have to actually make a grapple check. It used to just be automatic. That is a 30 to grapple. That's a 30 versus Ao's Fortitude DC.
Oh, that's a critical success.
Are
So
you
I'm very
sure
grabbed.
about that? I'm not so sure about that.
I thought my fortitude is 12 plus 10 would be 22.
Right? And I did a 30. Did I say a different number?
You said 40, I thought. Maybe
I
I'm
said
just
40.
on track.
Yeah, it's a 30. It's just a regular success.
Oh, great. I love that.
Okay.
That's
so
much
AO
better
is new.
for me.
It is. AO is now grabbed. And AO just hears in her head as this creature is grabbing on her, she just hears, delicious, 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 in Undercommon, as it transfers her from its claws into its mouth. And AO feels the tentacles of this Chul draping all over her body.
Lars,
Oh.
which
And
which Chul is it?
That's this one right here on the south,
Okay. Am I
Not the frightened one.
not the frightened one.
Am I within striking distance of that one?
No.
Okay.
So I need AO to make this fortitude check save as she feels this poison start to cover her body.
26.
That is a critical success because this poison has the incapacitation trait, which is, too bad.
I continue to be glad for me.
The Chul to the northern side of the pier, the one that is frightened, goes next. First, it's going to try to reach out towards Mag. He's going to try to do something very similar to what the first one did to AO.
Does it trigger a reactive strike?
The attack does not. The attack does not trigger a
It's an
reactive strike.
attack,
It's a
okay.
30. Yeah, it's a 33 to hit.
Yeah, that hits.
So Mag gets bludgeoned for 23 points of damage, and she feels, again, the claw start to clamp down on top of her. Here's a grapple check. That is a 33 to grapple versus your fortitude DC.
Yeah, that is successful. I have a really good fort save, and that still does it.
So it grabs a hold of Mag, and she hears in its slightly frightened voice, "This one seems more delicious." And it transfers Mag into its tentacles.
Ugh.
Does the transfer
And I need-
trigger a reactive strike, or is it still an attack?
Is that a manipulate
Yeah.
action?
It is not a manipulate action.
What? That's outrageous.
But
It's
also-
ridiculous. Who made this game?
But also, hasn't Mag already? No, has Mag used the reactive strike yet?
No.
This turn?
No.
Or this round?
No, she is not.
No.
So as Mag feels these tentacles drape all over her little body, I need you to make this fortitude save.
31.
A critical success, again, because of incapacitation. The Chuls maybe understand now that their poison is not up to the task of getting y'all. And as Isthin sees a Chul grab two of his friends each and shove them into their mouths, it's time for him to actually do something. What is Isthin going to do?
Right. I think he's going to do that thing where he goes, and shakes his face to kind of try and clear the hangover from
Good
him.
It's a 3-action hangover cure.
It's a 3
Yeah,
action.
It's amazing how fast.
We have to
it
add
is
the hair of the
relative.
dog. That adds a third
Right.
action. So
And then I think first things first, he's going to make a strike at the frightened Chul. Just a regular strike.
I got bad news for you. That Chul's not frightened anymore. The frightened went away at the end of its turn.
That is bad news. I don't like that news, but I'm still going to make that strike at it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Actually, you know what? Yeah, why not? Let's make it a spell strike. They're talking undercommon, so I'm going to use daze. Because they clearly have minds.
A spell strike with daze.
Ooh, that is a 24 to hit.
That 24 misses the Chul.
But he still has to deal with the residue of the daze cantrip, right?
Okay, here comes a will save from the Chul. 13 on the die for a 25.
This was a DC 24. That succeeds.
Oh.
Okay, so I take half damn. Roll that damn, dude.
Yeah, all right. Here we go. That is going to be a whopping 9 points for a 4 damage.
4 points of damage as it cries out. And Istin's got one more action.
I was going to try and use Magus's analysis to get a bonus on my recall knowledge about him, but I guess I'll just try and recall knowledge about Achul anyway.
All right, give me an occultism check, please.
All right, here it comes, blind.
And ask me a question.
What? I'd like any resistances or immunities.
Sure.
That's good.
It's immune to poison. It's coated with poison. Poison flows through its veins. Do you want to ask me another question?
I would love to ask you another question. What's its weakest save?
Its weakest save, you correctly guessed, is its will. These are not smart creatures.
Okay.
This is good for me.
All right. Not a great turn, but I'll take it. That's Istin.
That is Istin. As we enter the beginning of round 2, things have changed. Ao and Mag are both luxuriating in the poisonous environs of the tentacle maw of these two chuls. Ao is pretty badly beaten up. The boat is positioned between the chuls. This creature in this cage to your immediate southwest is continuing to bark. And it is now Trill's turn.
I don't like that these things have my friends in their mouths and that they keep reaching out whenever anyone does anything. So Trill's going to try to paralyze. Trill's going to target the one that has Ao in its mouth.
As you start casting the spell, both chuls reach out their claws and try to interrupt your spell. The first one swings out towards...
Both of them. Oh, my God.
Yeah.
The first one, the one that is holding on to Mag, reaches out with its claw.
Does that trigger a reactive strike?
No,
Cool.
Definitely not. It's a melee attack.
Right. Why would anything,
The rules are of reactive strike they're right there, man. You can read them anytime you want to. Okay, here comes a claw strike to Trill. That is a 30 to hit.
That hits.
Okay, so Trill is going to take a total of 14 points of damage from that attack, but her spell continues. So the chul to Trill's immediate south reaches out and tries to strike at her to follow up on its friend's attack. This one is a 34 to hit.
That hits. It is not critical.
Okay, so the spell is going to go off. Trill takes 23 more points of damage.
Ooh, she is hurting.
As chomp chomp.
Yeah.
Both
Woof.
of these chuls get drawn towards Trill's attack.
Okay, well, that chul south of Trill has to now make a will save.
Okay. Here comes the will save from the chul. It's a 22.
That's a failure.
Okay, what does that
It had
mean?
to beat a 26, so that means the target is paralyzed for 1 round.
Okay.
Ao, get out of there. And it's not going to be able to strike at any of us again.
But it's so gentle now. Now I'm just resting in a soft bed of tentacles. Why would I go anywhere?
Yeah, I'm going to say that as long as this thing is paralyzed, it's going to take no effort to get out of its claw mouth, but you are still in its mouth for now. Like I'm not going to make you make a check to get away.
She doesn't
from
just
it.
like fall
I can't
out.
flavor get out though. I have to use like an action.
I'll let you flavor get out. I think that's reasonable. It's holding onto you with its tentacles. Its tentacles go slack, and you slide onto the pier.
Ao's just shrieking. Ah! 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 It's my turn, though. I have to stop flavor shrieking and do something.
Trill may have one more action. I'm not sure.
That's
Yeah,
probably
Trill
true.
does have another action. Oh gosh, I guess with Trill's last action, Trill's gonna raise her, and by raise I mean cast her shield, just because she's hurting a bit, just in
Great.
case something comes after her again. So that's just a cantrip.
Beautiful. So Trill's magical shield appears over top of her. And it is now Mag's turn.
Well, I was going to say first order of business is to get out of this thing's mouth, but first order of business is to rage. Not a fan of this turn of events. Second order of business is going to be to try to get out of this thing's mouth.
And I think Ao, having just like been thudded to the pier from this other thing, wants to make sure Mag can get out of this. So she uses her new inspired stratagem reaction to give Mag the benefit of, if you're doing a skill check, David, or it's either an attack roll or a skill check, you get to roll twice and get the better of them.
Okay.
Nice.
Thank you, Ao.
Very exciting.
Yeah.
Well, then here's...
Look at her being a team player. This isn't right.
Yeah, this is unnerving. All right, so that was a 7 and a 10. I will take the 10, which is
That 7 was a failure. That 10 was a success.
Hey.
So Ao's inspired stratagem immediately helps Mag escape. And you can put yourself on any
awesome.
space next to the Chul that you would like to.
Okay. Well, maybe I'll pop off on the other side here and flank it with this then, I guess. I guess making it flat-footed to Ao is always helpful. Well, I'm going to knock it down anyway. Oh, no, I'll run out of actions. I can't knock it down. Dang it.
And it's in the water, and tripping in the water is no good.
Okay. All right. Well, I will hit it with the Earthbreaker, as is my right as a Galarian.
Your birthright.
It's a horrible roll. It's a 22, which I'm sure is going to miss. That doesn't crit fail, does it?
It was actually a 17 because of the fact that it's your second attack of the turn because you chose to escape.
Woof. Does that crit
That's
fail?
annoying.
No, it crit fails, yeah, but that doesn't matter.
Well, I'm free. And that's
And
my
you
turn.
have one more action.
No. I raged. So that was my third action.
Very good. Mag rages, wriggles free, and splashes into the water, her back up against the cavern wall to her east. And it is now Ao's turn. Ao is between a paralyzed Chul and a not paralyzed Chul.
And how long does the paralyzed thing last? Well, I think you just walked us through this, but
Just
hit me up
one
with some
round,
deets.
since it was only a standard success.
Okay.
Or a standard failure on the roll. If it had been a critical failure, they would be paralyzed for 4 rounds with the opportunity to do a saving throw at the end of each one.
One thing to tell you, if it's of any value to you, Zoe, is that while the Chul is paralyzed, it also gets the off-guard condition.
Oh. Lars. Okay, well, Ao's going to stick with what her initial plan was, I think, having gotten away from the tentacles of this thing. She falls back down the pier next to the body of the annoying guy whose name I'm not going to learn. Doesn't have time to investigate him yet, but spends one action falling back. And then... This is tricky. All right, I think sensing that the paralyzed thing is weak... So we've learned it. Poison is no good, but we don't know. I guess we learned fire wasn't super great. She just flings some, I don't know, wood around for bludgeoning damage. She uses TKP to try and, cut into the carapace of this thing.
Okay.
All right, 28.
That 28 is a hit, again, because of the combination of it being off guard and the Courageous Anthem. Trill is supporting like a maniac tonight.
Bard's got to do what a bard's got to do.
Apparently.
Lot of ones in that damage roll. Goodness. Okay, 23 points of damage.
Okay, 23 points of damage as this wood slams into the Chul and takes a chunk out of it as well.
And that's my turn.
Okay. As this wood flies across the pier and slams into the second Chul, It's paralyzed. It's not going to do anything. At the end of its turn, it loses the paralyzed condition, and it is now free to move again. The Chul that is between Mag and the rowboat has gotten the sense. I'm going to tell you what's happening just in the inner life of this Chul. It's gotten the sense that its tentacles are not going to work. It sees 2 more tasty morsels in a boat.
Nom, nom.
And it turns around.
We're not a sushi boat.
It just goes, and slams its claws into the boat to try to destroy the boat. This boat has an armor class of 10. Let's see if I can beat that.
God.
Trill jumps on Iston's back.
Okay. So the boat is immune to critical damage, so I rolled a 34. I'm going to roll regular rolled ding-dong damage. 22 points of damage, hardness 5. That means 17 points of damage goes through. And Iston and Trill feel the boat underneath them get completely obliterated. And splinters floating in the water away from them as the boat is gone. Completely gone.
The hatches or something.
Iston and Trill are now in the water, and what that means is that they are off guard unless they have a swim speed. And the Chul is going to reach out to its softest target, which is going to be Trill.
But it gets a map, right?
It gets a map.
Okay.
That is an 18 to hit.
Trill did have it. Helped.
Awesome.
Trill did also have her shield. So with the shield, it's still just a regular failure, not a critical failure.
Okay. The Chul doesn't like where it is, and it is going to climb up onto the dock to advance towards Ao, using a move action to get away from Mag.
Yeah.
Follow
why
up
bother?
easy. What?
That is like the first thing in an Eon that's triggered a reactive strike, right?
Yeah, it's moving away from you, so you can make a reactive strike against it.
Mag.
37.
That's a critical hit.
No, that seems worth it. Here's critical damage. 50 damage.
Okay. Crushing Rune. What does that do?
All kinds of stuff. The target becomes clumsy 1 and enfeebled 1 until the end of my next turn, and it's also knocked prone because this is a hammer.
And the knocked prone doesn't matter because it is swimming
In the water, yeah.
in the water. But it does. You do. I believe you interrupt its movement. Let me double check.
Feels like if you would have knocked it prone, it would stop moving. But
Right?
I get that the rules of the game are not going to be on my side on this. So
Well,
fine.
you're flipping it. So you flip it over with your maul, but it's swimming, baby, and it's like, and it's fine, and then it crawls up onto the pier.
That
So it
looks
does
really
manage to
cool.
get away from you.
Got away with just the 50 damage.
Just the 50 damage. So the 50 damage slams into the face of the Chul, and it's like, its tentacles blow in one direction as a spray of chitinous exoskeleton hammers into the other Chul behind it. And with that, it is now Iston's turn.
Okay, so as his first action, he is going to toss out a blasting electric arc at the 2
Ooh.
Chuls.
We're on the same page,
Matt, there
my
is
friend.
a fun hero point card tied to this if you haven't seen it.
Ooh, I should look at that.
That's truly designed for you,
Oh boy.
even if it technically could be used by me.
Cool. Yeah. I think this is the perfect time to use this hero point card. I think I have 1 point. I want to use the father-son electric arc, which the trigger is I cast electric arc, and the other characters watch in awe. So the other characters watch in awe as the faint spirit of Haplo hovers behind Iston, weaving his last remnants of magical power into mine. I get to double the number of damage dice I roll for this spell.
How many damage dice would you be rolling typically?
I would be rolling 5d4.
So you're
it
rolling
would be
10d4.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Did
is
we
awesome.
say who this card
So-
was from?
No, I didn't. This is from Jordan from somewhere in Brazil.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jordan.
Thank you, Jordan.
Jordan.
Father, son, electric
Hugely
arc.
grateful.
Benvindo.
The faint
to our
spirit of
game.
Haplo hovers behind you, and these two creatures need to make a reflex save to get out of the way, right?
Please and thank you.
Two pretty good rolls. I got a 30 and a 30.
Well, that is a success on both of those, unfortunately.
Ooh.
But
Okay.
they still take half damage, which would be now just regular damage.
So
Thanks
roll-
to that. So thank you, Jordan.
Thank you,
Math.
Jordan. So we're going to roll 10d4.
Oh my god, that's so many dice. Ooh, not a great roll.
They're going to take
But-
half of that. A great enough roll for the jewel that Mag just struck to be demolished, sizzling, and it collapses into the water. And
I
that's-
also want to point out that the spirit of Haplo has somehow
I
showed
know.
up
I
in the
was just
notice,
about to say.
which
I think
presumably none of us are processing.
No,
right?
not at all.
No.
Basically, I was
We'll-
like,
we'll need
Haplo's
to get
showing
to
up
that
next to
eventually,
Trill,
but-
essentially, in the water here.
At some point, they'll process.
Yeah, and I
that,
think
but-
Istin like looks behind him and just catches this faint glimpse of the old elf and is like, Dad?
No, Trill actually wouldn't notice. She's too focused on trying to keep her loot out of the water so it doesn't get damaged.
Wait,
Being hung over and seeing the ghost of your dad, man, that would mess with you.
I think he's going through so many different emotions right now that in some ways he can't even process it. He literally does need time to deal with that at another moment.
Sure.
And I think he just kind of like shakes his head to kind of throw it off because he doesn't have time to deal with it. And then he is going to, while staring at the other Chul, start swimming directly towards the dock because he's going to try and draw this strike for Trill.
Okay. So this is still water. It's a DC 10 athletics check. I'm not going to make you make that if you don't want to. You can just take the
No, I'm
success.
happy.
But if you want to roll and get the critical success, then you can go 15 feet.
Oh, I do have assurance, actually. Yeah, I don't know if that's my assurance. I get to add plus 10 to my athletics, right?
I don't know. I don't know what this thing does.
Is that how
You
that
tell
works?
me, dude. What? Okay, let me look up.
David, how does assurance work?
Yeah, 10 plus your proficiency bonus.
the way assurance
your
works,
proficiency bonus. Okay,
something
your
that should be
Armin,
fine.
I see. Yeah. So
Your
my
proficiency bonus
bo-
is your level plus 6, so 14.
well, 10 plus 14. Still a crit success, right?
Yes, it is definitely.
I'm going to use my assurance and I'm going to make it to the dock.
I'm going to give you a hero point for using assurance and athletics.
Hey.
Hell yes. Everything's coming up, Istin.
Oh, we have fun, don't we? Don't we just have fun?
I'm glad it works for somebody.
You know, this is the rare niche case.
Armand, you're not going to be able to get up onto the pier because that's going to be another
Okay.
type of movement, but you can end
Got it.
right next to the pier, and you do successfully draw the attack of opportunity, the reactive strike from the Chul.
Cool.
So that's going to be a 26 to hit
I think that just hits.
because you are off guard while in the water.
Yeah.
So Istin takes the full force of 16 points of damage and ends his movement next to the pier, taking the heat off of Trill with a truly heroic act.
It was beautiful.
It's the end of round 2, and it's a different situation. One of the Chuls has collapsed onto the dock, having been electrocuted by Istin. But there is still one Chul up. Trill and Istin and Mag are swimming in the water, their rowboat having been destroyed, while Ao is perched on the beach near the fallen Colton Marabi. It is now Trill's turn.
Okay, so I think we'll just keep it simple. Trill's going to go ahead and do a... for Force Barrage, that's at level 3 where it moves up, right? So that's kind of where nice sweet spot, right?
Sure.
Okay, yeah. So Trill's going to go ahead and cast some Force Barrage and send a bunch of magic missile-like objects.
Darts of force.
Darts
perhaps?
of force, if you will, at the one remaining Chul.
Okay.
Remind me what happens if I don't swim.
You sink.
So then what happens?
You have to start holding your breath. You can hold your breath for a number of rounds equal to, some calculation involving your fortitude save, basically.
Okay. But so essentially for the next turn I then swim, I come back to the surface, right?
That's right.
So why wouldn't I just do that more often? Seems silly. Oh yeah, I'm going to use all
Splish
3
splash.
actions. Trill's going to...
That's your business. So
I imagine Trill as she's like playing her lute above her, and she's so focused on it that she's going to sink down and still desperately try and keep the lute out of water while her head's underwater.
Right, one hand reaching up as her face goes down.
Exactly. And so with that, Trill sends off 6 darts of force.
Oh boy.
And that is 18 points of damage.
18 points of damage, and that hits unerringly, as we know. So this Chul is going to take all 18 points of damage as at the end of her turn, Trill starts to sink underwater. You got to start holding your breath. You can hold your breath for a number of rounds equal to 5 plus your Constitution modifier. So just keep that in mind, please.
I played a character once before in 5e that was immune to magic missile. And I was like, that sounds so cool. Of course I'm going to take like this feat I was a Kalishtar monk. And nowhere in our entire campaign did any character ever cast magic missile. And it was so frustrating.
Yeah.
That's just good DMing, baby.
And now that I get to cast magic missile, I don't know. Somehow it makes me happy that I get
I feel
to
like
cast
it's
it.
coming back.
I'm happy for you, but for now you must sink, and you must go glub 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 and sink underwater.
Robin, I think the key would have been for someone else in the party to take the same feat and 6 levels later have it be working out totally perfectly for them. after you've abandoned it. All right, Mag would like to try to finish the job. So Mag will move.
So if you're going to swim like that, I'm going to need a swim check from you. You are a quick swimmer, so you can go a total of 25 feet on a critical success. And I will let you swim under the dock because it is cool.
Nice. 31.
Yeah, that's a critical success. Mag is able to swim under the dock. As you get under the dock, though, you see some interesting details that I want to tell you something about.
Oh, okay.
You see that there are eggs, each the size of a human head, attached to the underside of the dock by some sort of sputum. And that is what you see.
I'm out on all of this.
Are they pickled?
Sputum.
Can we pickle them?
Yeah.
Two different questions with 2 very different answers.
The brine here does look like very green and picklish. I mean,
how poisonous are these pickled Chul eggs? Okay, well, we're gonna clock that for later because right now it's bashing time. Here's an attack. 28 to hit.
That hits. Again, because of the combination of flanking and courageous anthem.
And kind of crummy damage roll. 17 damage.
Okay. You take another bash at the Chul and connect with its chitinous head.
And I guess one more. Second Earthbreaker strike, swinging back the other way, and that's only a 21.
And the second one is a little wild, and Mag sees the Earthbreaker splash into the water in front of her. And it is now Ao's turn. Ao, it's time to put this Chul away. The Chul is going to go after you. Can you keep it from doing so?
Do I want to? I guess the logical thing is to try and kill it. I'm not going to lie. I really want to cast Roaring Applause on it and make it clap until we kill it.
Oh, with its
That's
little
a way to kill it because it'll trigger opportunity attacks.
clattering its giant
let's-
claws like castanets.
Actually,
Let's
that's
do
a
it.
really
absolutely
cool
the
idea.
most damage you can do right now.
That's a
Um,
brilliant idea.
And also, it's very AO, right? Let's go out with a spark of totally unnecessary cruelty here, if I can make it work. Okay, so AO looks at this thing and begins sort of muttering back at it, you know, nyang nyang bonabo, nyang nyang bonabo. You are the tasty one. You are the one who will be eaten with my useless bite attack. It is you who will be eaten. Of course.
And
you
it
need
starts to
roll a will
applaud you for that? Okay.
save. Yeah, well, we'll
You're like,
see.
A spell's a
Here
spell,
comes your
dude.
time.
It's no row.
So I'm going to make a will
but-
save. Here comes a will save. Bad roll. 15.
Oh, not quite a critical failure. A 14 would have been a critical failure, but this is a failure. So you are going to begin applauding me vigorously. So let's
So
hear what
it's
that. Yeah,
little
clack,
crab
clack, clack,
claws
clack,
start
clack,
going-
clack, clack, clack. That will make you cannot use reactions, and you are slowed 1. And the applause is so involved that it has the manipulate trait, which triggers reactions for everyone else around.
At
which
the
is same
beginning
ag.
of my turn, which is one
is-
action from now.
Yeah.
So you can still do something else if you want to. Or you don't have to. You could just sit down.
I'll
wait
pull
for
out
Mag.
chompers in case I need it, but mostly
Okay.
laugh, flavor laugh.
So the
clap
the
back.
Chul looks at Ao and is applauding frantically.
I am the tasty one. I am the tasty one. It says.
I am the tasty one. At the beginning of its turn, it triggers reactive strikes from Mag and from Isthan.
Yes. $34 to hit.
Hit.
28 to
Oh my god!
Hit.
So cruel.
27 damage.
21 damage.
Okay.
That's
The
so
27
awesome.
damage brings it down to 2 hit points. The 21 damage brings it all the way down.
Oh
And
man.
the Chul, mid applause, gets slammed twice.
Oh god.
And we will pick up from there
Oh.
next time.
Trill's still sinking.
Yeah, I want to go get Trill.
Trill's still sinking. Trill's going
Just
through the end of
bubbles.
Paddington 2 right now.
The Roots of Ruin is a Tabletop Gold production produced under the Paizo Incorporated Community Use Policy, using trademarks and copyrights owned by Paizo that are covered under that policy. Paizo does not recognize, endorse, or sponsor this project in any way, and we are expressly prohibited from charging you to use or access this content. For more information about Paizo Inc. and Paizo products, visit paizo.com. All original characters and content in The Roots of Ruin are the property of Tabletop Gold, and all rights are reserved. We at Tabletop Gold would love to hear from you. On our website, tabletopgold.com, you can learn more about us and our shows, pick up great merch, and connect to the best online community in all of podcasting. Thanks for listening.